Joining us. I'm Megan Thornton, Communications Director for Prince George's County Public Schools, and I want to welcome you to today's press conference. Today marks an important moment, the introduction of Dr. Sean Joseph as Interim Superintendent, but more importantly, today is about looking ahead. We are here to spotlight the priorities that will guide Dr. Joseph's first 100 days of leadership and this new chapter forward for our district and for our county. Today's event is not about the past, it is about the work we are beginning together to deliver for every student and every family in Prince George's County. You'll hear shortly from district and county leaders, and of course, Dr. Joseph, who will walk through the priorities and commitments guiding his first 100 days. To get us started, I am pleased to introduce Chair of the Prince George's County Board of Education, Mr. Brandon Jackson.
This out just a little bit. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all for being here today to mark this important moment in the life of our school history. Before we move on to the main purpose of today's meeting, I would like to take an opportunity to extend a warm welcome to our new student board member, Ari Ajake, who was just officially sworn in just moments ago. We are pleased to have you with us here today. And these are the stories that need to be perpetuated throughout Prince George's County. We have a lot of great young scholars doing a lot of great things. Now for the reason we're all here today, on behalf of Prince George's County Board of Education, I am honored to officially welcome Dr. Sean Joseph back to Prince George's County. Your return represents more than just a homecoming. It's a clear message to our community that we are deeply committed to restoring excellence, rebuilding trust, and placing students at the center of all that we do. We stand ready to support your leadership, and more importantly, we are prepared to partner with you every single step of the way. So let's give it up for Dr. Sean Joseph. The challenges facing Prince George's County, we are all aware of. Academic outcomes, enhanced operational consistency, and to rebuild the trust of families we serve. Yet within those challenges lies great opportunities, an opportunity to lead boldly, to work collaboratively, and to engage honestly about where we are and where we need to go. We appreciate your focus on the collective ownership of our stakeholders. We know that it'll take a village approach, so this community engagement and focus aligns with the board's core values. We understand that no single leader or office can transform a school system. True and lasting change requires all of us, educators, administrators, families, community partners, labor leaders, and all elected officials working together with urgency, clarity, and a shared purpose. As board chair, I am committed to fostering a strong, productive relationship between the board and the superintendent, and one that will build transparency, accountability, and mutual respect. That is what our children deserve. That is what our community needs, and that's what our community expects. Dr. Joseph, we are inspired by your vision, energized by your leadership, and hopeful for what lies ahead. Together, we have the opportunity to create something extraordinary for the future of Prince George's County. Welcome home, and let's get to work. Now, at this time, I would like to take a point of personal privilege to acknowledge all of the dignitaries in the room. If you want to stand and wave your hand just to be acknowledged. All righty. Okay, and so now I would like to call up the Vice Chair of the Prince George's County Council, Councilmember Oriella. Thank you.
Thank you.
See, I'm a little shorter, so we'll go right back to being down. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, I'm Councilwoman Christorietta. I have the pleasure of representing District 7 and also serving as the Vice Chair of the County Council. But we're here today really excited about the opportunity that is before us to really prioritize education away in this county and move in a direction where education is what we are known for producing here in Prince George's County. We have an opportunity. What we know we have is some of the brightest educators, people that are passionate about pouring into our students. What we know is that we have young people that are craving the opportunity to have the best education possible. So we have all of the tools at our feet. And what our county executive knew, and what I think she did an amazing job in this moment, is that as we transition to this new phase and the vision that she has for the county, is that we needed someone that had the experience to walk hand in hand with that vision of taking the tools and resources that are at our feet and making sure that every child had the opportunity to reach their full potential, that every educator was valued here in Prince George's County and knew that the system was behind them, that they wanted to pour into them to make sure that they had everything that they needed, and that we know that that's who we have right now. And we know that they are going to build a plan together hand in hand with our school board, with our new acting superintendent, with our county executive, that they are working to make sure that our education system is one that is thriving. And I'm excited about the opportunity. I have the pleasure of also serving as the Education and Workforce Development Chair for the council. And so we've had the conversations about the potential. But now we're going to have the conversations about the actions. And I'm excited to hear about the 100-day plan. And I'm excited to be a partner. And as my colleague said, we're not welcoming someone new to Prince George's County. We're welcoming them home, a place where they've already served and understand the struggles. They understand the opportunities, and they have ideas for the future. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say he came from Howard University, one of the best places you can come from, where he had the role of training superintendents. He had the opportunity to shape and give them the tools and ideas and the things that they needed to stand in the seat that he's about to hold. So what we know is we not only have someone that can do the job, but we know we have someone that can teach others how to do the job. So I'm excited and enthused by the opportunities that are before us. And as a new mom, I can say that this is one of the things that have been the top priority for me. I understand fully in a way I never had what a lot of our parents are saying about the education system in any place in the country, not just here in Prince George's County. When you have your child and you know that you're giving them to a system to help raise them, because that's what the school system is going to do, that you are scared. You want to ensure that you're leaving them in trusted hands that are going to not just be picking up a paycheck, but really be passionate about their education, passionate about their future. And I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that the people we have leading our school system and our chair, our county executive and Aisha Braveboy, and now with our superintendent, that we have people that are passionate about the education of our children. And it gives me ease, knowing soon I will be leaving my little teapot in the hands of this education system, because I know that the love and care that he gets at home is the love and the care that he'll get from his teachers and his counselors and the leaders of this institution. So I just want to thank the county executive for all of the work she did behind the scenes to prepare for this moment and to ensure that the county would be able to move forward in the best way possible. And so now I want to bring up our new county executive, the amazing Aisha Braveboy, to talk a little bit about her vision and the way they are going to work together to shape Prince George's County.
Thank you. It is so great to be here at the home of our Prince George's County school system. As many of you know, I'm a graduate of Largo High School, and I matriculated through Prince George's County Public Schools. So I'm a huge fan of our school system. As the county executive, I take great pride in being able to support our school system, but it is also a huge sense of responsibility to give back to a system that gave me so much. And so when I thought about who would be best to serve in an interim capacity as superintendent, I really wanted someone who understood the potential of our children, who understood our school system, who had worked here, and who wanted to come back. You know, we do have a lot of challenges, but there are many more opportunities, and they have yet to be tapped. And I wanted someone who understood that potential and was willing to put in the hard work to ensure that the promise of Prince George's County, the promise of our school system was realized. And I saw that in Dr. Sean Joseph. And so today, we're going to hear about this 100-day plan, which Dr. Joseph, in expressing his interest in coming back here, said, you know what, I'm going to put together a plan right away. Because I think he understood the fierce urgency of now. Now is a time that we have to focus on preparing our school system to take our children back in the fall and be ready. The buses need to be ready, right? All of our classrooms have to be ready. Our teachers have to be ready. Everyone who is responsible for the care of our children and the education of our children have to be ready, which meant I had to be ready to make a decision to appoint someone who, or at least on an interim basis, could guide this school system. And I know that Dr. Sean Joseph is that person. Today, he will introduce his 100-day plan, which will center around 5 critical areas: strengthening governance, advancing student achievement, investing in human capital, supporting wellness and safety, and ensuring operational excellence. That's what we deserve, and that's what this superintendent will deliver. I want to thank the Prince George's County Board of Education. Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. I know that the vote on approving Dr. Joseph's contract occurred last night in this building, so I'm grateful that you all were able to get that done. I want to thank the County Council in his absence, Chair Burrows and Vice Chair Oriaga, and of course our student board member. We are united. That's one thing that I think is so important right now. We have not been as united as a county as we are right now. And we're going to stay that way because our constituents are counting on us, our children are counting on us, and guess what? We're counting on ourselves to hold ourselves accountable to you. And that's what today represents. So I'm super excited, Dr. Joseph, to hear about your plan, or hear more about your plan, because I kind of already know about it. But I want you to introduce it to everyone. And I am so grateful again that you have taken on this awesome but just worthwhile responsibility to care for the future of our community, our children. So, Dr. Joseph, if I can introduce you to our now interim superintendent, Dr. Sean Joseph.
Wow, good afternoon, everybody. It is humbling to be in this building. I mean, it's been about 9 years since I've been in this particular room and had a lot of great memories. But I thank you all for being here today. I begin by offering my deep appreciation to County Executive Aisha Braveboy, Board Chair Brandon Jackson, and the entire Prince George's County Board of Education for entrusting me with such a sacred honor. I mean, serving children, it's an honor, without question. We've got the opportunity to help children fulfill their wildest dreams. And as the adults who facilitate that process, we need to come to it with both humility and recognize the honor, that we have. And to serve Prince George's County, I mean, this powerful, proud, and purposeful community is both humbling and exhilarating. I believe with all of my heart that you cannot have a great school system without strong engagement. And engagement, authentic, ongoing, and inclusive, is absolutely free. Right? It's one of the most powerful ingredients that a school system has to be successful. We must begin to hold ourselves accountable. We must be held accountable by our constituents, and we must hold one another accountable as we do this important work together. So as such, I'm launching my 100-day entry plan today, a focused, transparent approach to stabilizing, aligning, and beginning to accelerate work across our district. This plan is grounded in 5 key areas. First, building strategic priorities with the Board of Education. So I'll meet with each board member individually and collectively to understand their vision for our district and the concerns that we have within our district. This is important. I mean, the board lays out the mission, the vision, and the core values of this system. So the first question we have to answer is, are we dreaming bold enough for the brilliance that we know that exists within this great community for our children? And what do we want to accomplish in the year? Like, how do we quantify and be really clear about what excellence looks like, feels like, and tastes like, in Prince George's County Public Schools? Together, we will identify a small number of strategic priorities aligned to student outcomes, and we'll build a framework of shared accountability, right? Whereas the board lays out the governance, the mission, vision, and core values, the superintendent's office executes on those priorities and makes those dreams a reality. Our aim is coherence to ensure that the work that happens in central office and our schools are aligned with those goals that the board communicates. Next, we're going to continue to work to strengthen our talent development and our human resources. Right? Our schools are only as strong as the people that are in them. And we will work with the human resources team to assess our hiring practices, our onboarding systems, and our professional development. We'll review staffing vacancies and align talent development with the goals of the blueprint for Maryland's future. Great systems are filled with great people, and we must support and grow ours with a sense of urgency. Next, we're going to focus on academics. We're going to review the academic data for every school in the district, looking at not only the outcomes, but the inputs and supports that are in place. We'll identify what's working, and we'll scale it. We'll identify what's not working and stop doing it. Right? We'll confront underperformance honestly and craft a plan to support struggling schools and work to accelerate their progress. Student achievement across all grade levels and all student groups will be the lens through which every decision will be made. Next, we'll prioritize the blueprint for Maryland's future. The blueprint is not a compliance requirement, in my opinion. It's an opportunity. We'll ensure that the district's work aligns to its pillars, specifically early childhood expansion, college and career readiness, teacher quality, and equitable funding. We'll review our readiness to implement our blueprint and make adjustments to guarantee that we're not only meeting expectations, but we're doing it better than anybody in the state, right? That we should have that expectation that we can be bigger and better than anybody in the state. Finally, I think most importantly, we're going to elevate family, community engagement, and union engagement. Engagement is not a nicety to me. It is a necessity. Right? That's why I've assumed direct oversight, or I will assume direct oversight of our Department of Family and Community Partnerships. I've charged our extraordinary director, Dr. Shayla Jackson, who's with us today, and you'll hear from in a moment, to come up with a plan to ensure that family voice is heard from day one. In addition, we must ensure that we're truly partnering with our unions to co-create a new future grounded in respect and in partnership. While I'll take the lead in engaging our union colleagues, I'm asking Dr. Jackson to focus on our family engagement. So Dr. Jackson is going to come up in a moment and talk about what she and I have talked about over the past day or two, and thank you for your urgency to pull everything together for us here. But we've identified a few actions to begin, namely to develop a family engagement strategic plan grounded in best practices, and we'll have that out next week for feedback from the community so we can work to refine it with your input. We'll hold 9 virtual parent meetings, 1 in each board district within my first 30 days. We'll host 9 in-person community engagement sessions, again, within the first 100 days, that'll be in person. We'll review all parent perception data to identify gaps and opportunities that we have. We're gonna make sure we reestablish the Prince George's County Parent Council to bring coherence and power to family voice. And we're gonna refine our parent engagement policy to reflect what's happening nationally and to reflect best national practices and our community's expectations. As I've said all along, that no improvement strategy will work without our parents' active feedback and pushing the district, period. We recognize we must do better, and to do better, we must give parents the opportunity and access to the table so we can get this hard work done. So let me be clear. This just isn't a time for distractions or disunity. We must be focused, we must execute, and we must move as one district, not fragmented, but aligned in purpose. So at this time, I'm going to ask Dr. Jackson to just come up and share what we're going to begin today. Dr. Jackson, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am so honored to be entrusted by our interim superintendent, Dr. Sean Joseph, to continue to lead the work of establishing effective family and community engagement practices here in Prince George's County Public Schools. As Dr. Joseph has made clear, family and community engagement is not an add-on. It's not something we just do on Wednesday or Tuesday night. It is a core strategy to help us as a system come together to ensure student success and school improvement. As parents and community, your voices are important. They matter. Your experiences, your ideas, all of that must be at the center of our decision-making to help us make sure within our system that we are utilizing best practices to meet the needs of all students. That's why in Dr. Joseph's first 100 days, we'll be leading 2 key efforts to be able to connect with our families and our communities. First of all, and Dr. Joseph has already mentioned this, we are going to host monthly meetings in person in all 9 Board of Education districts. In that way, we will be creating the opportunity to host parent and community advisory groups where parents will come together with the superintendent, have conversations, explore our data, talk about the challenges, but also engage in active listening and collaborative problem solving. We want to work together, as our interim superintendent has said, not to bash our school system, but instead to be strong and come up with strategies that we all can implement together. And he also mentioned our plan to reestablish our County Council of Parent Leadership Organizations. We used to call it the Prince George's County Council of PTAs. It's not so much to revive a structure, but it's about the act of coming together in leadership positions and having conversations about what's in the best interest of our students and our schools. We can do this. I am that parent that people used to wish would go away and get a job. I believe in effective parent and community engagement. It makes a difference for our school system and for our children. We must join together to do this work. So the steps that I've just talked about, 2 steps in the first 100 days, are part of the larger commitment to make sure that we are pulling together as a community. And we also want to remind everyone that we will never forget our commitment to making sure that we engage all families, So our offices of interpretation and translation will always be at the forefront of our work to make sure that every voice is heard, that every family is served, that every child is successful, that every teacher and administrator feels supported. We can do this, Prince George's County, and I'm happy to be a part of that team. Thank you.
All right, so you have the 100-day plan in front of you, and I just wanted to walk you through some of the key points, and then we'll conclude here. So again, we start our plan intentionally listening with purpose, leading with integrity, and advancing excellence for every child. All right, the purpose of our 100-day plan is to create a deliberate roadmap to engage deeply with our Prince George's County community, to assess our district's systems culture, and to lay the foundation for transformative action. This plan's designed to build trust, promote equity, enhance student achievement, and improve organizational effectiveness. Again, our district is guided by core values that the Board of Education has put together, and we have 6 in our district. That students are our priority, and all students can achieve at high academic levels. Families, students, and educators share the responsibility for student success. High expectations inspire high performance. All staff share the responsibility for a safe and supportive school environment, contributing to excellence in education. The support of everyone in our community is essential to the success of our schools and students, and this success enriches our community. And continuous improvement in teaching, leadership, and accountability is the key to our destiny, right? We have a mission statement and a vision statement that focuses us, right? And our vision statement says we're a culturally responsive district developing distinguished learners, leaders, and voices of social justice and advocates for humanity for the world of today, tomorrow, and beyond. You know, for this to accomplish, like I said, we all have to come together and we all have to play an important role in the execution of this actual vision. Again, our Board of Education is committed, and it's one of the reasons I came back, quite frankly. I think we've got such a powerful Board of Education. I mean, people who are dedicated and committed to the fight, you know, to help us get things better, and combine that Board of Education with a county executive who graduated from our system, who knows the excellence of our system, and wants to see that excellence scale, you know, is just an opportunity of a lifetime to come and to serve. And I want to be clear, in Prince George's County, we don't wait for hope, we create it. We don't watch change, we lead it. And we don't walk alone, we will rise together. You know, so the 100-day plan, as you see it, is broken down into 3 movements, right? In the first 100 days, the immediate priorities are the board and I to engage. The board and I committed last night that we're going to spend time together once a month, coming together, planning, making sure we're aligned, making sure we're together, making sure we're communicated, and we're crystal clear about execution and how the steps we take, first, second, and third, to effectively execute. We're going to engage our labor unions to make sure that we have contracts that are respectful to our employees and reflect the fact that we recognize you're working hard, and this work is hard, and you'll be respected and appreciated for the time you put in to transforming our children's lives. We're going to focus on staffing and recruiting as we gear up for the next school year. We really want to be clear that we have the best in the country in front of our kids, driving our buses, cleaning our buildings throughout the organization. We'll do a comprehensive review of our academic data, and we'll audit what's working and not working, particularly looking at what's expected from the blueprint for Maryland's future. And we're going to dramatically improve our community engagement and listening to parents. You know, I think the best organizations listen deeply and then adjust to what they hear. Right? We won't be offended by you telling us we got to improve something. We're going to work to improve it. And then as we move to the 30 to 61 days, again, we'll continue refining the board's priorities. We're going to do an audit. I am extremely big on return on investment. Return on investment. So we're putting dollars, we're putting efforts in how do we know we're getting something out of it? We've got to be able to answer that question if we're going to accelerate our work. So we have to look at operational efficiency within the district, right? There are things that have not worked well for some time. And we've got to ask the question, why isn't it working? And maybe maybe we don't have the resources for it, then we need to communicate better to people and let people know what the problems are much clearer than we can, because I think people can understand that sometimes it takes time to totally fix something, but we can communicate how we're working to make it better effectively. You know, I listened to the board meeting last night, and I commended Dr. Coleman. Dr. Coleman, I didn't forget your name, Dr. Coleman. There's a lot of pressure under these lights. You know? But I commended Dr. Coleman immediately for how he communicated about the transportation work that's happening. And the whole, I'm looking forward to the chipmunk, tool coming in to help parents better understand what's happening. But like I said, that's an example of good communication on a problem that has been happening in the system for a long time. But we don't run from problems, we work to tackle them. So I appreciated that update last night. And then again, the most important work will happen much after that 100 days, and that's that instructional and programmatic readiness. We have to make sure that our students in our buildings are getting top quality educational experiences, and we're monitoring their growth. Because we should expect kids to grow. Our challenge is, how do we accelerate that growth, and what are the accelerants that it takes to move us much faster? So as I mentioned, we've got five areas that we're focused on: strategic alignment, talent, academics, focusing on the blueprint, community engagement, and operations. So I won't bore you going through every little detail here, but as you look at the plan, what you'll see is I've broken down in 30, 60, 90 days what we'll accomplish, when we'll accomplish it. So you'll hear an update from me after the 30th day, once we get through the 60th day, and once we get through the 100th day on each one of those activities. And we're going to load a website, a landing page for the 100-day plan, and you'll be able to track what's getting done as we're going through. Because what's most important to me is, if I say I'm going to do something, we're going to do it. And if we don't do it, we'll communicate why it's not done. That's extremely important. So as we move through these 100 days, we'll move through with a high level of accountability, because that's what you expect here in Prince George's County Public Schools. So again, I won't walk you through all these details now. I've been talking a long time, and we'll conclude by saying this is a moment for action. I think this is a moment for urgency, and this is a moment where I believe we can do great things on behalf of children in a great county. But the moment is here. I'm just going to ask us all to push one another to be our best. Iron sharpens iron. And I think if we work together, push together, and challenge one another, and give each other grace, because when you're pushing hard, you make mistakes, things happen. So let's give each other grace in those moments. And I think if we do that, we will be a better school system faster than you know. So I will turn it back over here to Megan. I believe we'll take some questions.
Thank you so much, Dr. Joseph. We will now open it up for a few questions from the media. I do want to respectfully emphasize that this Q&A should be focused around the 100-day plan and the priorities that Dr. Joseph has outlined. For other deeper dives or other topics, we are happy to arrange one-on-ones through my office. Please state your name and your outlet before your question. We'll try to get to as many as we can as time allows.
Well, I haven't costed it out, to be quite honest with you. Much of the stuff, meeting monthly, that doesn't cost anything. It's the cost of time, but it's not in a physical cost. We're a rich county, and we've got extremely smart people here. So I'm not one that's looking to bring a bunch of consultants in. I think a lot of the work we can do internally is just reprioritizing some of the work, particularly some of the internal audit and things that need to happen. There wouldn't be much cost, but the things that'll cost will probably move towards long-term past the first 100 days. Sure. Just say who you are once again, I'm sorry. Sure. Sure. Well, let me say this. As a man of faith, I believe that God does not waste our struggles. Right? He allows challenge not to break us, but to build us. Right? And not only it builds our character, it builds our resilience, and it builds our wisdom. Okay? And what I would say is that if we remain focused in tough times, we become wiser. And I'd say my experience in Nashville has made me much wiser and much more focused as a result of some of the situations we dealt with there. What I'll tell you about Nashville is I'm proud of the fact that Nashville is the 43rd largest district in America, extremely diverse. And while we were there, our reading achievement grew faster than the nation on the MAP assessments and on the state assessments. We expanded gifted and talented instruction for students. We reduced suspensions there, particularly pre-K through second grade, where they were arresting black children at an unbelievable rate. We stopped that practice while it was happening on my watch. And we made an unprecedented investments in mental health, in wraparound services, and in student supports, community schools. I know we have a number of them here. We invested heavily in the community schools there in Nashville. Now, was I criticized for moving too fast? Yes. Did my team, including myself, make some mistakes? Absolutely. Was I ever found to be committed to doing anything wrong or having any disciplinary action by a board? The answer to that is no. Were there issues with human resources? Yes. And did we have a human resources person who didn't turn some things into the state and as a result was exited from the district with my blessings? Yes. Right? And did I have to deal with the ramifications of that? Yes. But what I know is that change creates noise, particularly when it happens in a leadership context that's wrapped in issues of class, race, culture, and privilege. And I brought a lot of change, which brought a lot of noise from those protecting a status quo that were not used to seeing a black man exercise leadership in a dynamic way. So, lessons learned from that are, I don't run from noise, but I learn from it. I listen, I reflect, I grow, and I'm better because of it. Now as I enter Prince George's County as the interim community superintendent, I not just bring a resume, I bring some wisdom, right? And hard-earned, grace-given wisdom, as a matter of fact. And so I say to you that I thank my God for the pain that I've endured, because it's taught me humility, it's taught me patience, and most of all, it's taught me that leadership is not about being perfect, it's about being purposeful. Look, I did not come to Prince George's County to relive old battles. I actually came to build a brighter future. So a future grounded in excellence, a future grounded in equity, and a future grounded in accountability, and most importantly, a future grounded in the love of our children. So having said that, it's time to get to work, and it's time to start moving forward, not sitting back on something that happened 6 years ago. Yes.
There's a lot of other leaders who come in here and try to create big change and do things. They found it really easy for other people to sort of throw sand in the gears and make that progress and those changes a lot more difficult, whether they're in leadership roles or whether they're just further down, especially when it comes to, changes and accountability, things like that. You're promising changes in certain areas that could lead to accountability that people might not be used to. How do you prevent that from happening to you and slowing you down?
Yeah, you know what the blessing of being interim is? I can do the work without a lot of the politics, because at the end of the day, if I'm not selected, I got a job, right? So I'm here to really focus, and I think, but what I know about Prince George's County is, I mean, we've got so many great people here. I mean, I wouldn't, I'm old now. I mean, I've been doing this for 30 years, and I wouldn't come into a job that I thought was mission impossible. This is actually mission possible. You know, and I believe that the time is now and the time is right to just focus on focus. Because I think if we focus, and if you looked, and I talked about, that's why I talked about the work with the board, and the board and I committed to meeting monthly together. Because when we focus, when we're clear about what we're doing first, second, and third, when we can hold ourselves accountable and align our budgets to our vision, you know, any organization that has more vision than capacity fails. Right, and we'll continuously recalibrate and focus. So, you know, if somebody's not willing to work, yeah, they should quit because they'll probably get fired. Right? I mean, we're in this moment right now where we've just got to get things done. Our kids deserve it, our community deserves it, and so we're just going to execute.
And you are a candidate for the full-time job?
Well, so right now, what I know is if you focus on your mission, you'll always have a job. If you focus on your job, you might miss your mission. Right now, I'm just focused on this job as interim superintendent, starting today, June 27th. When we get to the second semester, we'll see how everybody's feeling. But right now, I'm focused on the mission of just getting things done right. No, what that means is right now, I'm focused on this mission of being an interim superintendent and doing that well. When the time comes, we'll assess.
Dr. Joseph, I have one question about
Yes.
the federal government's impact. Lionel Down, NWS.
Yeah, good to see you again.
See you again.
Yeah.
Yes, I had this question on how the federal government is going to be impacting your 100-day plan and the steps that you're taking to hopefully improve Prince George's County public schools. Here, Prince George's County in particular, the decisions from the federal government are being felt, are being
Yeah.
that the leadership here is dealing with. A Supreme Court decision just came down that said that parents were able to allow parents to opt out of certain instructions, saying that it would conflict with their religious beliefs. Can you talk a little bit about how much of an impact this decision might have on your plan for the first 100 days, and how much some of the federal decisions might hamper or impact your approach to
Well, if you look, when you look through the 100-day plan, you'll see one of the things we're going to do is look at how our title dollars are being spent and what the return on investment on those dollars are. You know, we do rely pretty heavily on federal dollars. They're not the main part of our budget, but they're a significant part of our budget. So we have to make sure that those dollars are being utilized effectively. Look, I think what's most important is what we do locally. I think that local context matters more than federal context to me. And I think we've got a local context right now where I think all of the conditions are aligned for us to do some great things. So I haven't had time to delve into this current budget to see what the changes were from last year to this year and so forth. That's part of the work that I need to do. But again, I think we should brace for tough fiscal times. I think that's wise to do. I think we should be conservative with how we spend dollars, and we need to make sure that, again, the dollars that we have an impact, and that's what we'll focus on.
I think we have time. I think we have time for one more question. One more question. Darcy Spencer.
Thank you. course.
I know one of the goals is to improve communication in other languages or as many languages as possible for everybody to be involved. Many people are scared right now. Many people are scared to send their children to school right now because
Yes.
of the situation. What message do you have for Hispanic parents?
Sure. To your first question, I would say, I can't control, I can't control the process. I can't control how I got here. What I can control is what I do while I'm here. I mean, that I can control. And I tell those parents, if they got a question or a challenge, to engage. Come to one of the monthly meetings that we're going to have. Share your experiences. I'll listen, and I'll work to satisfy all reasonable requests. I mean, that is our goal. We have to come together. At some point, we've got to stop pointing fingers, and we've got to start working together to get things done. I think we spend too much time blaming and not enough time saying, what can I do to help things go right? And so we've got to get there. And to our families who have come here from other countries, our Latino families, and I know in Prince George's County we have over 100 different countries and languages and things. So we're one of the most diverse places on earth. What I would say is that you are welcome here, and we're going to do everything in our ability to ensure that you are safe here. Again, locally, our value system says that we're going to do right by all families of all backgrounds. It's one of the reasons, everything we do gets translated in multiple languages because we see the people we serve, and that's important to leadership. And so, any family who feels any apprehension, please tell them to reach out and come. This is a safe, and I think we must work with you to help communicate how we will keep you safe and how we will work with you. And there's a poem that goes, I'd rather see a sermon than to hear one any day. I'd rather one should walk with me than just to show the way. The eye is a better pupil and more willing than the ear. Advice may be misleading, but examples are always clear. And the very best of teachers are the ones who live their creed, for to see good put into use is what everybody needs. I can soon learn to do it if you let me see it done. I can see your hands in motion, but your tongue too fast may run. And the lessons you deliver may be fine and very true, but I'd rather learn my lesson by observing what you do. For I misunderstand you in the fine advice you give, but there's no misunderstanding how you act and how you live. So what we have to do is make sure people see that our do say is consistent, that we're not just saying it, we're doing it. And that's our challenge, and that's our focus, that's our goal. And we're going to make sure when people see our say and do will be consistent. And that hopefully will build the trust to get more people on board so we can collaboratively make Prince George's County one of the best places in America to be educated. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Joseph. Thank you, media, for your time today. Either myself or my colleague, Lynn McCauley, who is back there among you, are happy to work with you to schedule follow-up interviews, one-on-ones over the coming weeks. Thank you so much.